to do that for every swearing in. Think of all the officers.
No, I know,
Like,
you know, good point.
I'd be buying flags and covers and stuff.
I guess I'm gonna be Saturday, and, but not just a regular wasp. These things were about this big. They were huge, and, so I go there, got the little spray and stuff, and I had a little.
I'm sorry, I had to look.
So they all fly all over the place, and I maybe kill one or two. But then I go back about 2 minutes later, and they snuck up from me from the back. They were up in the trees, and they saw me, and they came after me. So, hey, how you doing? How you doing, man? You okay?
You're up here.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, that was next to Miss Bowser. You're up here.
So it's done me on the, and it's a little swollen, but it's only right here. But there were about two or three that they were on my shirt, and I don't know if they
My nephew got stung in the back last weekend.
Oh, okay, I see it. Thank you. You need another chair?
I don't know where those stuff are from. I know they're
Oh, okay, okay, thank you.
I know they had gone to Texas.
Well, good evening.
Hi there, how are you? Pretty good?
In the neck, but those were like not as bad, but one got him through his shirt.
This is the first time I sit on this one.
And who got stung?
My nephew,
And how long did it take for it to?
it took like a week.
There's a lot of
Cause he
transition.
went under the slide to get a ball or whatever. And my mom bought, they were under there, my mom got the ones on it to take the little fingers out of his back.
Because
And
there was
then,
no additional
like, he kept saying my back, my back, and my mom was like,
And so,
or whatever. And then finally she was like, you know what, take off your shirt. Cause she didn't think it would have gone through his shirt. Cause it was one of those like,
they were kind of
pretty thick
boards
shirt, she said.
because
He
there
did,
was
she's like,
really
and of course my mom was babysitting, so she's like, man, I had to call your sister and be like, oh.
Had to call your sister. She answered her phone.
And he had a big one, she said, but she
really,
really go get,
some of us would advise things that
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
couldn't advise on.
and she went to Walgreens,
So,
she's like, well, anything that
not
said
just
bee sting on
that.
it. She goes, and I rubbed it on the back, rubbed it on, she goes, within 3
Everything went back to
Mine were Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and it's still swollen.
So it was pretty much unless they had an issue for us.
It's still red a little bit.
So I
They
just
were.
Did you make sure you got the stinger out?
we really need to
I think I
have
did.
people
This morning, I scratched some more in the cut,
to have a
trying
forum
to
to
make it
make
big,
your
just to make sure that I got it.
So
I think I did, I don't know.
tonight will just be.
I'm
That's all I
blind,
did.
so I have it.
Well, that's what my mom said, she was like, she was worried that she wasn't, like, she wanted to make sure all the stingers came out, she goes, cause it'll keep it, like, I guess it has venom on it, it'll keep it irritated. So she goes,
And I
and
think
her
right now
mom,
we
like,
only have.
on the back of his neck, she's like, no, I show it, like, it probably, like, got pulled out during the scene, but then it kept kind of bothering her, and then she found it. She
I think they have.
Yeah, I read that about the
credit card,
card.
she used tweezers, but she's got those, she's got them like pointing to that right
Oh,
here,
yeah,
like Latin
there
tweezers,
sure
like,
is, and she's got great ideas, so.
she's absolutely great.
It may still be the same.
I didn't know that, once the stinger is in there, it continues to put venom inside.
So when I was a kid, my grandmother,
We'll make it work.
got mud on it. And
Yeah, yeah.
so I remember them stopping, and telling, did you still have mud on it? She was like, Crystal, this is 2026, I went to Walgreens.
Or put butter on a burn.
Yeah, what the, Public Works is doing
This is the,
in this,
that's the, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's actually 20 minutes. Got it.
I did not have it on the
I can print it at my house.
I can send this to you all, it's Sandra said.
No, I have that on my notes too, and I
Yeah,
know,
it's
but
not
we've been
required.
so, poor David, we've been dealing with Alberti Road. I bet we're gonna have another meeting with him tomorrow, give me the answers for today's meeting.
Once the mayor, I was waiting for
Oh, wait, yeah, is it 6?
No, she's gonna be coming home.
Oh, yeah, it's not 6:30, I'll wait.
13,000 a year.
Didn't include the food or anything, right?
No, that did, they come with the family plan and everything, it was 13,800 for the whole year.
So does
And
T-Mobile.
I'm like,
I
Welcome, everybody, to the City of Leon Valley Economic and Community Development Advisory Committee tonight. I would like to call the meeting to order at 6:30. We do not have a quorum this evening, but I believe we're going to proceed just to go through what we need to go through, and we'll get through it. And point of privilege, we do not have the pledge on the agenda, but if you would all please stand if you're able and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And I see introductions later, so we'll go ahead and move to approval of the minutes. Can we go ahead and do that tonight, or just discuss it?
Yeah, you can take comments on the minutes, but since you really needed all 4 people here in order to have an actual meeting tonight, but I'd like to move through the agenda and then just ask y'all for your help to recruit people on our committee.
All
We
righty.
have vacancies, but just to kind of move through the agenda as normal, but just to review, and then any corrections, we can make it as part of as her notation, so when we bring them back the next time, y'all can vote on them.
Okay, so as far as February 26th minutes, I'd like to let you all know that those minutes were approved and on March the 11th meeting. So we do have those, but for the, hi, come on in. Yes, ma'am, come on up.
Now you have a quorum.
Now we have a quorum, yay, come on up, right here.
Yeah, sorry, I'm Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Forgot I was in the shower too.
Don't worry, we won't kick you off.
You'll have to bring 3 new members to this committee.
I probably did.
Yay, wonderful. Okay, so we've got your binder right there. On the agenda, we're on item number 2, approval of the minutes. And once again, February 26th minutes were approved at the March 11th meeting. And at that time, we did not have any minutes that were turned in because when we met on the 11th, it was solely only to approve the minutes from February 26th. So if we had approved those minutes, we would have had to come back to another meeting to approve those minutes that we just showed up for. So that was the reason, but I do have, where did I put it? Miss Sarah, here it is. Okay, can I make the motion, or does somebody else have to? Okay. Okay, so I, Ivana Orozco, motion to affirm the vote from March the 11th, 2024, approving the February 26, 2024 Economic and Community Development Advisory Committee minutes as presented. And if I could have a second for that.
I will second it.
Thank you, ma'am. And then we are going to place the approval of the minutes into the June 15 meeting minutes and include the following paragraph. Due to changes in staff and committee members, there are no documented minutes to consider for the March 11th, 2024 Economic and Community Development Advisory Committee meeting. The only item on that agenda was the item to approve the February 26, 2024 minutes, which we have previously affirmed here tonight. Thank you. I guess I'd already said all that, but okay. Did it correctly. Now, item number 3, public comments. If there's anybody in the chambers that would like to speak tonight. Hi.
Officially appointed already, or is she being appointed at the next meeting?
Welcome. No one wanting to speak tonight? We'll move on to item number 4. Discussion and possible action on the following items. Introduction of the Economic Development Director and committee members. Ms. Sarah
Wopel, yes.
Wopel. Thank you.
Alrighty, and I'm gonna just. All right.
Just introductions, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just introduce yourself and let them go around and introduce them.
Awesome. Okay, so introductions. My name is Sarah Wopel. I'm the new Economic Development Director and Special Projects Director with the City of Leon Valley. I started end of April, and so I'm just getting acquainted here with all of the different committees, the different projects, and the incentive policies that we have available to us at the city. So happy to get started, happy to meet all of you, and I think I came at a really pivotal time. So the last time this was March 2024, and so I'm happy to see a lot of new committee members and to get started on some exciting work. So I'd like to just go around and have everyone kind of do a little roundtable of their introductions as well. If anyone would like to start, Rachel maybe.
I'm Rachel Buck. I have a PhD in economics. I work for USAA. I'm in economics residency. Effective feedback to the first line. So going because it's fun.
I look forward to the three people she's going to bring on board. And I'm Yvonne Orozco. I married into Leon Valley very happily many years ago, and I have served on a number of committees for Leon Valley. Should I name them? Board of Adjustments, Park Commission, Capital Facilities, Earthwise Living.
I think I'm on the only one that you're not on. I was on the library board.
The library board, no, I haven't served on the library board yet. And I probably should have looked them all up, so, but if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. But I am happy to be here, retired from Department of Veterans Affairs as a civilian, not a veteran. And just happy to be here, and my husband is a city councilman here.
Oh, sorry, gotta hit a mute button. Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Bradfield. I currently serve on the Leon Valley Parks Commission. I am also a military. My husband is ex-Air Force. My mom was Army, and I have two in the Marines. So I'm very, very dedicated to our military. I also am program director of a program called Rise AI Academy, which has a national registered apprenticeship. And I am very, very interested in economic development here in Leon Valley. My husband and I are homeowners in the Senate community, which I understand had a lot of discussion. But I'm glad to be on this committee, and thank you.
Teresa Mosier, currently on the Board of Adjustment Committee, new to this one, been in Leon Valley since 2003, retired from Texas Health and Human Services and elder law work.
Ooh, very critical stuff.
That's me.
Sarah, can you tell them a little bit about
Yeah, of course.
education and where you
Yeah, thank you. So previously to this role, I worked for the City of San Antonio for 4 years in economic development. I worked on some crucial projects there that are still actively going on, the Toyota projects, the JCB manufacturing project. So really proud of the work that we did there, attracting a lot of new jobs and investment to San Antonio. We also worked with startups, growth stage businesses who are kind of in that teenage, I guess we'll call them, stage, where they're not quite a small business, but not quite, a big operation yet. And so getting them access to capital, backing, federal programs that exist and matching those funds to kind of ensure that they stay headquartered in San Antonio. So those were some of the fun projects I got to be a part of. I also, previous to that, I worked with Accenture Federal Services on the finance side, so financial reporting and making sure operationally things were running smoothly. And so I think it's given me a good background in the due diligence that's required for a lot of these programs. So just to give you all some perspective, I think I'm going to come at it with projects, especially if I bring up anything to this board or to this committee, it would be looking conservatively at those financial reports, making sure we do those due diligence to ensure that whoever's coming to the city asking for funds, that we know that they're a legitimate actor and a good partner. So those are some of the things I wanted to highlight. I also went to I went to University of San Antonio, Texas at San Antonio, for my master's degree in economics, and then also for my bachelor's in economics as well, my BBA. So just to throw that out there.
So when did you graduate in San Antonio? I got a master's in economics there in 2011.
That was, so in 2016 so 2020 was when I got my my BBA, and then 2022, I want to say, was the master's. It was during that whole COVID spell, so everything kind of lumped together. But yeah, that was when I graduated. Awesome. Well, nice to meet all of you, and I guess we'll jump right into Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
We'll get it there. Okay. Moving on to 4B, we have presentation, discussion, and possible action on the City of Leon Valley's Economic and Community Development Advisory Committee duties and responsibilities. Sarah?
Yes. So you'll see in your binders, I do have the ordinance for this committee printed out just for your reference, and I'll provide these binders each meeting so you don't have to recall it, and I can keep those tucked away so you don't have to carry them around. But today we are going to be going over the committee duties and responsibilities, and there are some unique sort of procedures for this committee, and so I wanted to highlight that today so we could understand, where we can empower this committee on future initiatives. Alrighty, so you'll read in that ordinance, we do have the duties and responsibilities of the committee outlined. This advisory committee serves with the following duties and responsibilities: to work in a coordinated fashion, respect all points of view, and carrying out its duties and tasks, and shall adhere to the city's comprehensive plan, as well as the values and missions of the city. I will note that the city is currently updating its comprehensive plan, so that's something I'm excited to, once it's finished, or how we can engage with you all on that as it's going on. So just wanted to note that. Individuals should be knowledgeable about local business, financial, or development-related activities, and have unique insights and strategies to promote Leon Valley, which it sounds like after those introductions, we all have a lot of experience here on this committee. Serve as ambassadors and promote Leon Valley in a positive manner, understand the city's current economic development objectives, provide business leads and context to city staff where appropriate, review policy set forth to the committee by the City Council for review and to make recommendations, and to keep discussions of possible incentives to promote economic development that are not discussed on an open floor confidential. Confidentiality is really key to a lot of these negotiations, so if there is a project that comes forward, I hope you all respect that. It can ruin a deal. If you are being briefed, or if there's some sort of executive briefing that needs to take place, I'll definitely give that warning when it comes. Alrighty, next slide. Now, how does this committee get a project or objective to work on? So that can come in two ways. We spoke a little bit about it earlier, but the City Council can direct the committee on an objective or policy to work on. So that can come directly from them. Say they experience an issue, or they see a business concern that they want addressed, they can come to the committee and ask for your recommendation and have that taken back to the council. Another option, which is what I want to get some thoughts on today, is the committee can come up with an objective or policy and ask the council for permission to proceed on that initiative. So that's something I think that we can really empower this committee to look at, is if there are initiatives or projects that you see the city could benefit from, having that discussion and then taking it with some of those informed sort of recommendations to City Council at a future date. Alrighty, and I won't read all of these, but these are some good considerations. These are outlined in the ordinance as well. But projects we look at, right, ensuring that they're going to encounter some sort of benefit for the economic development community or community. This can be in land use, housing, transportation, utilities, public health. There are certain requirements of how economic development funds are spent, and so we have to use those funds within under local government code and so on. And we also want to be respective of the current city initiatives and ordinances. So also, we want to look at retention of primary jobs, the redevelopment of commercial property, demolition of existing structures. This is something that I think can be really powerful in a city of Leon Valley where you have limited, space. So something like that to look at. Tourism-related ventures, we don't really have that many initiatives. I know the San Antonio Aquarium is major here, but how we can better leverage that. Projects that demonstrate environmental initiatives, business missions to create workforce diversity reflective of the community. I think workforce is also going to be something I'll engage you all on a lot, because I think it's something that's kind of been, at least from what I've seen, we haven't done too much on the city side in promoting some workforce initiatives directly, at least. So I'd love to see y'all's input on that. And encouragement of entrepreneurship, valuing businesses that demonstrate multiple income streams, and business models that include social enterprise. I'll go back, sorry. And I did want to include the city's mission and vision just to ensure we're all on the same page here. And the mission of the City of Leon Valley is committed to protecting the quality of life, safety, and liberty for all its citizens while prioritizing fiscal responsibility, resiliency, sustainability, and economic development. This vision, of course, is to strive for that to foster a community that is resilient to challenges, sustainable for future generations, and economically dynamic, ensuring a prosperous and harmonious future for all. And then we always tie things back to our strategic plan to just ensure focus. And so I think the discussions on this committee are going to be very involved in all these goals and objectives. So that economic development goal of attracting businesses and retaining them, the ones that we have still here. The infrastructure and development piece is going to be crucial as well. So we're going to have some budget discussions this summer and into the fall. And so your familiarity with those conversations are going to be really helpful in making recommendations to the council as well. We touched on workforce development a little bit, and then revitalization, revamping the corridors as much as we can, I think is going to be really crucial for the retail operations that we have here. And then marketing and promotion, this is something that we've begun with the PIG channel, which I think Roque and Crystal Miranda, our communications director, had helped set up. And so utilizing that piece to kind of use our marketing tools to help the businesses that we have here, right? So whatever we can do to support that landscape, I think will be helpful. The next steps, so we have our meeting today, and then I want to have those discussions after this, and then hopefully we can come to some sort of decision or conclusion on what recommendations we can take forward to City Council, and then based on y'all's availability, looking at another future date, hopefully in October or in August or September. We can also make that sooner if y'all are really, geared up to go to council. But I'm hoping, and with this council, I'd love to get the feedback on the cadence of these meetings as well. So if quarterly is appropriate for you all, I know some may work. So also just want to get your perspectives on that. But that's all I have for you, and open to hearing the feedback.
Thank you, ma'am. And then moving forward.
Okay, one second.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to, when we talk a little bit about policy and objectives for the committee, I want to make it clear, y'all don't have funds, you don't have any money, you're not gearing towards projects or incentives. It's more of looking at a policy and objective that y'all want to dive into. So for instance, if I'm just going to throw an example out. This committee says, look, we really like the Sonic property. It's vacant. We'd really like to, as a committee, work on getting a business put there. And as a committee, y'all would like to brainstorm that as a project. We would then take that back to council and say, hi, the EDACT would really like to work on the vacant Sonic property as a project, as a group, either for business recruitment, or if there is we have a lot of incentives here with the city as far as like business incentives that we have available. And so we can bring those to y'all and show y'all what we have as far as incentives, but you don't really get a say on how those incentives are spent. And so it is more of you just kind of understanding what we have available. You can also go do your own homework and kind of look at the incentive packages we have available online, but that may be something like an incentive package we don't offer, but maybe the city of San Antonio does or the county does, and it's something you think we can benefit here from. If it is looking at economics, if that's another project y'all want to take a look at, like our sales tax and what our forecast looks like, then staff can put together a presentation on that and bring that to y'all. And if that's something y'all want to focus on, then we would go to council and say, hey, they'd really like to focus on sales tax initiatives. And Sarah gave a presentation, and this is what the committee would like to do. So it's really finding an objective for y'all to focus on, whether it is a policy objective, like an ordinance policy objective, or a tangible like recruitment project, or some way that it meets one of those considerations. Like if y'all want to work on workforce development, if you want to work on entrepreneurship, or if you want to work on small business, we just need to take something with some sort of purpose to the council that y'all are going to be working for. Now, the previous committee really didn't have anything that they were really geared for, and so essentially you just don't have a meeting until either council gives you a directive or the committee can agree on a directive. So I just want to kind of make that clear.
Broad strokes
Correct.
stuff. So to me, I think what would be helpful is if we sort of had an overview of like, what do we have? Like if we're gonna look at properties, like what properties are vacant, or like if we're gonna be focusing on labor, are we focusing on like, does AI impact? Are we focusing on how our library system, which we have one, is in competition with the San Antonio library? So when San Antonio or Leon Valley membership gets up, and that's tourists to Leon Valley.
Right.
So I think like for me, I think that almost we should have a meeting in a month or so where we can kind of maybe go over this 1 and 2 that you have here, and sort of maybe each of us take a couple of them and we can come decide on what we want to do, because I don't want us to get to a position where we had, I wasn't here, but I've heard, I've heard things, and I think that like we can be more valuable quarterly, especially with the economy like far between.
So again, that's completely up to this committee. The reason that we were doing quarterly is because I have some committee members that love to have me, don't have a problem meeting monthly or bi-monthly, and then I have some committee members that can't make it to all of those meetings, and so then I wasn't making a quorum, and so that's what was, that was.
I understand that, like, we have the same issue with like.
Yeah, so that becomes.
Bi-monthly would be too much for me, but I could do monthly.
And so, yeah, so it's kind of one of those things. But if this committee is dedicated to meeting, and that's why I want y'all to vote on the cadence in the meeting, that's why it's one of the items on the agenda this evening, is because y'all are telling me as a body y'all's commitment level to this committee. So if you tell me, hey, we only want to meet quarterly, then the project I'm going to give you is going to be a quarterly kind of project, right? Right. So if you're telling me, hey, guys, we're willing to meet monthly, then I can give you something that is going to be, or give you ideas for something that is going to require regular meetings. And so, but it helps direct staff of like how vested the committee really is to wanting to do X, Y, and Z. And so I think that's a great idea. The considerations that are listed as part of the ordinance are the considerations this committee takes to said policy or to set objective. So if you're going to pick, I don't know, changing the fee schedule and the rates of what we do at the community and conference center, well, the consideration for that on that list would be tourism. Like we're trying to up the tour, I'm just throwing that out there, up the tourism, upping the tourism here, and that would hit that objective. So we're really going to take on the use of the community and conference center and maybe try to increase those rentals because it is funded by hotel motel tax, which can only be used in a tourist or community and conference center type of objective. Or we're really going to kind of take a look at inside of 410, because a good portion of our sales tax goes to crime prevention. And as part of, like, a portion of y'all sales tax goes to our crime prevention, right? So in that list, is there stuff that you can check off to help in that initiative, right? To increase the sales tax inside 410? Like, is there a homeless initiative that checks off one of these boxes, right? And one or two, the other, you have other, which is a caveat for pretty much anything. So if y'all took on, hi, we'd really like to make sure that these properties stay on a rotating cleanup schedule, and the committee wants to take on that initiative that, like, 2 months you're gonna go, 2 months you're gonna go, and y'all are gonna report that these lots are gonna be, because that was one of the objectives at one point for EDAC, was to make sure that the properties were sellable, to make sure that they were clean, to make sure that they were upkept, to make sure that there weren't homeless, you know, that kind of thing. And that was their initiative, was to take on some businesses on our gateway. So that was an initiative. So every time this committee meets, like, we always come out with either good ideas or a good project. And so since we got fresh and new members, I would love to kind of get y'all's perspective. And so when we take the vote on the cadence, that'll kind of give me an idea of, like, how committed y'all are and how often you want to meet. And then the next meeting can bring y'all back some projects. Y'all can bring back some projects, and we can do like a brainstorming session of what y'all would like to work on. And then we can take it back to council and say, hey, your ED met and they would like to handle vacant properties, or they would like to handle redevelopment, or they would like to handle recruitment, or they really want to focus on the analytical side of economic development and really focus on sales tax trends, combined with your incentive package and how that can best impact. Like, it's going to be more policy available, but then y'all can direct us on what you want to do, and we can take that to council as your initiative. So I know it kind of seems broad. It's because you really don't have a purpose yet, right? Like, an objective. And so I'm just trying to find that objective for y'all to work on. And so we can complete a project and tell council, this is what y'all did. So, okay, now you can.
So you don't have a project that you wanted to give us to?
Well, the one I was thinking of, so we demoed 3 spots in Leon Valley. And so one of the initiatives that I originally was working with Roque with was we had some dilapidated buildings in Leon Valley. And one of the big things we were hearing from people is it's too much to demo old buildings due to asbestos treatment and all those things. So we got the buildings demoed working with property management. And so we demoed the old Sonic building, the old Comfort Cafe, and the old Leon Valley Vet Clinic, which is right inside 410. Now it's like a pile of grass right now. So he was going to bring forth those, like, okay, the city did this piece, we got it demoed. What are y'all's ideas on redevelopment? Like, so the committee swatching focusing more on the redevelopment aspect and getting this committee to kind of focus on redevelopment of those properties and what would work there. What would you like to see here? You live in the community. What do you think would work here? Taking a look at the back end on what does do well here. Looking at sales tax dollars. You know, we have a lot of Mexican restaurants and chicken restaurants. Like, we have Bush's, Raising Cane's, we're about to get Lane's, and now Bojangles. And so what we get a lot in our surveys is we like more sit-down restaurants. And so how do we bring that kind of industry here when we're continuously getting a lot of, like, fast food? And so kind of seeing the committee's thoughts on what y'all think we should do. You know, who should we be recruiting to? Who do you think would survive? You would be the ones dining at these locations. So really looking at, like, those 3 to 4 areas, and really having the committee focus on redevelopment of those 3 or 4 areas was going to be the initial project. But I don't want to direct you. I don't like the talk to, like, tell y'all. I really, like, y'all are boots on the ground. Y'all are the grassroots. I'm okay with hearing y'all's feedback. I'm open. That was just my idea, because y'all hadn't met in, like, almost a year. And so Roque was like, yeah. And Roque, I was like, we have this committee. They should be meeting. He didn't really have a whole lot of members. And so we had a lot of conversation of like, okay, we got to give them a purpose. Like, so that was the purpose he was going to bring forth to y'all, was like focusing on recruitment. But that doesn't have to be this committee's focus. It could be something else. That was the original example. That was the project I was going to tell y'all, like, hey, do y'all want to do this? But hearing the experience on this dais, maybe that's not. Maybe it is more on the policy side. Maybe it is, pitching to council a different incentive package to recruit those kinds of business. Maybe it is something completely I'm not even thinking of, right? So I like to say I'm a born and bred Leon Valleyite because my whole career has been spent here. So sometimes I do have blinders on. And so I'm very big on like trying really hard not to talk to y'all and have y'all pitch stuff to me. So
how many people, when we talk about like the jobs here, how many people actually are working in Leon Valley that live in Leon Valley? And, I just think I need to learn a little bit more, like, a
Sure.
little bit more. That would be where I feel like I'm at. I'd like to learn more so that if we start with something, have like a base knowledge of.
Okay, so what we'll do for the next meeting is present y'all a psychographic report, which will give you your demographics of Leon Valley, your percentage of owners versus renters. It'll give you percentage of who's working. We call it work, live, and play, like who's doing all three here, which is a very small percentage. Most people that live in Leon Valley don't work in Leon Valley, because if you're working in Leon Valley, then that means you have to afford said home on a fast food restaurant. Like, you got to look at your industry that you have. Now, you do have a couple of other larger players. You have like HEB, you have Intertech, which is down there. You have McCoy's Lumber. So you have, like, from big sales tax perspective, those are your like big players on the table. But for people buying homes in Leon Valley, you're talking to be able to pull together $250,000 for medium income home. And so you're not going to get that working out. You're not going to be able to afford said home working at McDonald's, right? So that's, or working at Arby's or Baskin Robbins. So that majority of people here aren't that. You are getting people from the medical center typically that work here and work in the medical center.
Okay, so then that's like the thing that I was going to say next is that with the AI stuff, the most impacted tend to be medical, especially like low-level medical jobs.
Sure.
And so, I don't know, it's just interesting stuff to learn about.
Yeah. So we can bring back, no, we can.
It's Medical Center in USAA.
Yeah, USAA Medical Center,
Retired military.
retired
or veterans.
military. And then you have the people like born and live here, like they've inherited their parents' homes. And so, they're.
Those cool people that live over there on Raymond Rinkus Park that have that really cool property there.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So like, his parents own that home, like it's been passed on, like, but I have a lot of people that have inherited family homes here. So that's, they may work across town, but they are, they're not paying a mortgage, or they're not paying, 7% interest rate on a new mortgage or whatever that may be. And then we have new housing development. And then those are kind of a little bit more sporadic. What the new housing development people are telling us is a lot of people are coming in from like the medical center area is where they're getting a lot of the people checking in on the new home, especially at like Trilogy. That seems to be their pocket of where they're getting people in at. You do have a lot of entrepreneurs that live here that attempt to kind of open up a small business along Bandera Road. So that's, again, we can present psychographical reports to y'all and put that to kind of together for you. And you can kind of get the makeup of like who lives here, who kind of works here. What we were told years ago was a big driving force for our industries because we have VIA and a lot of stops of VIA along the way, and that was trailing off into the types of business that was coming along because you're supporting VIA ridership, and so they were kind of going hand in hand. And so I don't know if that's true or not true, but a lot of your businesses here aren't niche businesses. They're what we call convenience type businesses, and so trying to change that concept is kind of where we're at, or we need to do. So we can present that the next time, though.
So if we're Crystal, Sarah, if we're looking at presenting something to city council on the 21st, we're gonna have to meet again prior to that because we're already the 15th.
Yeah.
So, and we may need another meeting after
I know,
that,
I'm
so I
thinking
don't know
maybe a
who's,
week or two,
yeah.
2 weeks at least right now.
And
just to
again,
get
you
this
don't
going.
have to meet on the 21st. We're throwing out dates. I know it's summer, like, I don't know the committee and the committee's demographic, if y'all have kids or you work or you have vacation plans. Like, it's just, we're gonna throw out an idea. It's not necessarily has to be that.
Going, let's get started, and then if we can like figure out what we're doing, then we can like
Try to
taper off. But I
decide
figure-
on something too.
Yeah, but I feel like to really decide on it, I kind of need to know the biggest, like a SWOT analysis of like what's going on.
I have another request. Is there a report that you could get on the commercial property occupancy rate? Where's the problem at? You know?
So, yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
so we do have, yes and no. We have the availability of like vacant land, what's there. Sarah, one of her first things, so I did it with Roca too. I make them do what's called a business audit. So anytime I get an economic development director in, I have them go and touch every Leon Valley business location. When I first did it, we won't date myself, but many years ago, there were 738 businesses. There's way more than that now. But it also gives you an aspect of what you actually have on the books. And so she's in the process of doing that. But we can give you some like broad numbers of what you have as far as like industry and that kind of thing. We can give you some generic percentages on that. And as she's done, that's one of the things she can kind of report back to y'all on in the future of like what kinds of businesses you have here, what's coming and going. I used to do like a because I'm HR, so is more my background, but I started off in economic development here with the city. I would do like a turnover rate and a vacancy rate. And so what is really working well, what's not? Do we have at the time we were really looking at, do we have the incentives to help with the mom and pops, or not even incentives, more like education for these mom and pops that, wake up one day and want to start their own business, and they go in a shopping center and think they can make it work, and then they really don't know how to run a business. So we started doing some of that.
So you did that like for the city of San Antonio, and I imagine that they have a tremendous budget for that, whereas we don't. Do people in Leon Valley, can they actually get help with the city of San Antonio, or are they excluded from those?
No, so some programs, yes, like grant funding. There are a lot of nonprofits that businesses can go to. That was something I want to feature as well. There's a lot of state programs as well. We have that helps with business services, small business advisory through the Fed. So businesses can access that, and it's not just City of San Antonio businesses. Spotlighting that more, doing a little bit more talking about Wolfspar Nexus, who is a veteran support for entrepreneurship. Those types of programs, how do we get those connections made? A lot of that word gets around.
And I think a big portion of where we don't do so well in is the education piece. So like for instance, we had the Mexican candy shop that was right across in Seneca. It had good traction, it had good business, but I think the gentleman just didn't know how to run a business. And so it was an education piece of like, let's help you with your social media, or not us, but let's hook you up with the right people in order to help you make your business successful. And we started putting together some programs through like the county at the conference center, and kind of asking our small businesses to attend those to understand how to set up a separate bank account, how to set up your inventory list, like really kind of deep diving into how do you make your business actually work once you've open the business. Because that's what we seem to find with a lot of our mom and pops that we think are going to be successful that fall off, is because they don't really know how to like manage their books or keep track of their inventory. And so I think a lot of that is an educational thing.
Something we can get with the library, like maybe once every day, where people could come in and then talk to different people in the community that
Yeah, so we did, so again, we've done a lot of different things over the last 20 years between UTSA Small Business, Bexar County. We had a list of like all the programs. We would hand out the list of all the programs. But it's actually kind of that in person, because I do think that there's a fear aspect or a vulnerability aspect, because no business owner wants to say, I don't know how to do X, Y, and Z. And so it's really good to like go in person. That's where like we say promote Leon Valley, where this committee could go to that mom and pop business and say, hey, we really are trying to get this education piece going. Would you like, we noticed that you just started here in Leon Valley. Would you like to attend? We're going to be hosting, UTSA is going to be hosting Small Business 101 or whatever it is that we're going to be doing at the time. Or say it is a business that's coming in looking for a location and they're looking for funding. Well, you do have programs like LIFT, which the city participated in. We do have, veteran loans and not Wells Fargo. Randolph Brooks has a business component to them. They've offered education pieces in the past. And so it's just getting that information out there. And yeah, maybe it is a partnership with the library. Maybe it is, just setting up shop. We were doing it in the conference center quarterly for a while there, and then people weren't attending. And so they started cutting them off, so.
And great ideas, but, personally, I think it's great ideas for new businesses or new people that want to have a business and get started. But I think my vision for Leon Valley moving forward is to bring those that are already set up, and I would love to have sit-down restaurants in Leon Valley so I didn't have to travel that far home if I had a margarita or two, It's not that I don't like traveling to go to those places, but wouldn't it be nice for us to have one or two or even three in Leon Valley? Those are the things that I look forward to bringing here to Leon Valley, and those that we have already, we had the demolition policy that Roque brought in, and the city demolished buildings, but what are we going to do with those places now? The weeds are growing up on them, and I tell the city councilman that I live with all the time, there's homeless people there now, we need to do something. So those are the things that I look at and see, we need to do something with these places. What are we going to do? So I think my focus, although I love your ideas, and I know I love those ideas, but my vision for the future is let's look at bringing in those places and getting our, empty spaces, and there's not much left of empty space, right?
Like in the short run, I really agree with you on that, because I think the economy is going to be a little difficult here, especially with the inflation and everything, and I think like bringing in a small business that hasn't had a really, a good solid amount behind them into one of these new spaces and putting them there is almost, depending on what's going on the next 6 months to a year, maybe setting them up for failure. But if we get something that has the knowledge and, they have everything, or at least has, a fair amount of capital, that might be better. I don't know, I can just talk.
Yeah.
Let's set off.
Already been there, road expansion and how that's
Right.
going to affect businesses. Because you're going to struggle to keep some of them that are currently here, still here.
Do we know, like, I'm not big on social media, but I'm wondering if we could leverage our local social media entities here in Leon Valley to drum up Leon Valley support.
I love that, yeah. I was just going to jump in.
Okay, cool.
For minutes and sake and everything. But so I was going to mention a lot of cities do this where they do shop local campaigns, and we don't have one for Leon Valley, but we have definitely the infrastructure to do that, right? We have a city website, we have social media. This is free ways we can leverage that. And then I also think a local business directory, right? We just talked about there's only 700 to 1,000 businesses in Leon Valley. Looking at using a local business directory, something like that, which can be really simple, really quick to put up on a website for, the city's website, and looking at, okay, if I'm going to go get my flooring done or going with this contractor, let me make sure it's going to a Leon Valley contractor, and those different kinds of things, and giving that exposure to residents as well, that I know it can be like a little challenging to understand that you're in Leon Valley, you're in a different city from San Antonio. So the better that we can do to inform them of that, I think will be helpful to support sales tax dollars here.
Ordinance used to do this card like at Christmas where you would, all the local businesses would have it and you'd scan it and you'd get like a little something off.
So
And it was
we've
like
done
a
that.
really yeah.
Oh, Yvonne will remember. So we've done the
Did it work
bingo.
well, or is that- I heard
Yeah,
bingo.
we did a bingo one time. Yeah, so it does, you just gotta, the first layup to that is getting businesses to participate with some said discount. And so we got a few, like San Antonio Aquarium, and I think a couple of the Mexican restaurants they did, and then we did a bingo card, get your bingo and win a $50 gift. We get drawn in through a $50 gift card. We've done the Shop Local campaigns. We used to have stickers and a Shop Local, and we did do that, but just because we did it and it didn't work then, it could be for a variety of reasons. It could have been the wrong staff was in charge. It could have been we just didn't have enough community support. It could have been a lot of different things. And so maybe it's time to re-look at some of those projects that we've done in the I love the Shop Local. We did at one point have a business directory, but it was old school. Like we haven't like done a new business directory, and that would be a great thing I think to have. Yeah, online, searchable, like absolutely. So things like that, and really pushing the Shop Local and pushing the social media aspect a little bit more definitely could be. I'm trying, so what's really hard is if you take a look at a lot of city social media accounts, they don't have a lot of, I call them haters. We went through a very poor time in Leon Valley, and so like every social media post I post right now, I have nothing but like, I get the red light camera people on there, I get the Leon Valley is a communist because we're not doing the 4th of July. Like any post I'm putting out, like there's if you take a look at our posts, there's negative. So if you go to City of Leon Valley, there are negative posts on our stuff, and so you can't. And so we are a public entity, so I can't hide, delete.
Well, no, I'm actually saying, I'm wondering if we can capitalize on the negative posts to get more visibility.
You can.
Try, but that's gonna be hard. But we
Well,
can try.
yeah, you can. It just brings up a whole different problem. But I think it is like time to kind of do some of those campaigns again and kind of live like with the like today we posted Flag Day was canceled by the American Legion. We just helped them. We're not canceling. The American Legion is canceling. If you look at the first post, it is not a pretty, they're blaming us. Like the flag flies anyway, get it together, Leon Valley. I'm like, it's not even us. And so, yeah.
So there's no Leon Valley Chamber of Commerce?
No, so y'all have the Northwest Chamber. So when I first started working here, y'all had the Rotary Club and a local chamber. No. Well, because what has, even across the board with, I mean, San Antonio's got a few chambers, but for the most part, for these smaller businesses participating in those types of organization, you tend to make more contacts or better contacts on social media. Like you posting on Instagram and DMing people gets you more interaction than paying $300 a year to belong to a Northwest chamber. And here, the education that they were having at some of these events, like we were being told, like wasn't like the best. And so I think for the most part, it's pretty much died down. I think that they have still a meeting and they hold it in and around Leon Valley. But we don't really participate in the Northwest Chamber as much anymore just because there wasn't really, they didn't have a whole lot of Leon Valley businesses on the Northwest Chamber. For a while, we had like manager from Walgreens showing up. We had a manager from Hobby Lobby. We had like a good core group. But eventually, Walgreens is like, why do we need to go to this? Like, we're hearing, like, we don't need to go to this. So they kind of stopped coming, probably within the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. And so that may be a whole separate new organization that can be revamped at some point. It's just not something we
I just
do.
didn't know if it would be better for an outside group like a chamber to be promoting businesses or
They will, yeah.
as opposed to the haters
Coming,
tagging
yeah. So we can send them stuff. We can post. Now, our library, for whatever reason, no matter what they post, they're just sunshines and angels over there. So,
I'll tell you something, we work really hard, and those people are really positive.
Yeah.
They're very, very good, and I was a library board person in Corpus Christi. Incredibly impressed in what they do with one library. Friends of the library building.
Xed out by mean old Crystal over here, the city manager. Well, the Friends of the Library is a 401c3. They're not a city entity. And so that's really the main kind of conversation is we have an MOU with other 401c3s, but this one just kind of exists.
How Friends of the Library
It,
is like that.
well, it was just, I mean, I can get into the history of all of that, but, because I've been here for it all, and so it's just a weird thing. But, yes, but they have really good traction on their social media. So anytime I have something that needs to kind of go out, like right now I needed to post a job opening, I sent it to the library to like repost, because they do have a good following on the library social media page. We used to have one for police and one for our fire departments, and now that doesn't go over very well, so.
One question, how do we get a hold of the water department at night, like when we see routed to Bayer County?
You will be. So you call the
Answer over there.
yeah, so so the way it works, little off topic, but we can be, so.
The money that we spend in water main breaks are extremely expensive.
So, for us here, the way it works is you call the non-emergency number, you will be routed to Bear County. They work on a priority list, so all non-emergency calls go to the end. And you do get answered. Sometimes it takes 10 or 15 minutes, so if you have the patience, you can wait. Sometimes you get,
I'll tell you, I've tried contacting them several times, and I have never reached a live person.
so it, you just kind of, you should be able to. So the non-emergency number eventually,
It's always after hours.
yeah, so they'll pick up, we do have an after-hours water person, and
Cell phone numbers.
Okay, I'm gonna
And
get them
so,
from referees, because I'm always like contacting about the water.
and-
We had a geyser at the top of Balky a couple of times.
yeah, so
Yes.
after you've been to Leon Valley, you either will have my cell phone number or Dave Demeline's cell phone number, and we will route your call for you. So many of the residents here,
Like I'm becoming a Leon Valley.
so residents here, text me for, I've been here a long time, so I know when their kids are sick and when there's a water main break. They will text me, which I am more than happy to help in any way. So yes, people have my direct number. I've been here for 20 years, so there's a lot of people that will just text me, hey, water main break, and I will call in the after hours guy. But for those that don't have my cell phone or don't have Dave Demeline's cell phone, you can call the non-emergency number. You're supposed to eventually get somebody, and they are supposed to call the after hours person, is the way it's supposed to work. But if not, yes, we are a small enough city. If you call the city manager or the public works director, we will send somebody out. So I don't know which numbers you have. I don't know if it's David's or Randy's.
I don't know, one ends in 3858 and one ends in 0858.
I don't know, they're all in my phones, probably.
I
David.
was a consultant for the city of Corpus Christi, and I did a lot of water quality work, so water boils.
So we watch,
What's going on? Water.
yeah, so we do pay attention to our water loss. Good thing to know is we are not Corpus Christi, and we've got enough water. You've got enough water to sustain new growth. And we have purchased a lot of water over the last few years. And so we are estimated to need an additional only 215 acre feet and we'll be all done. So we are really good at purchasing water. I drill it into my council members that are sitting behind me, how important it is to purchase water, have water, prepare for the future, infrastructure improvement. We can sit down and have a whole long conversation of where we were and where we're going as far as our water goes. We have a priority list, $10 million on the table to get some stuff done. But yes, so very, very big on water, and I get to use Corpus as my highlight of you don't want to end up like Corpus Christi.
Worry about a data center coming here.
You do not have to worry about a data center.
Good deal.
No.
Good deal.
So y'all want to talk about the next item, which is when I think y'all are having y'all's meetings?
That's the one, discussion and possible action on future.
I am good whenever you guys want, just not probably next weekend. Or 6. I can really even make 5:30 if we needed to. Whatever works for y'all.
during the week. What is the calendar for the I think our,
You have access to Ray's calendar up there. And then after we're done with this item, I do want to introduce your council liaison and your council that is behind me. My apologies, I meant to do that during the introductions. Hold on, let me see calendar. So our next council meeting, we have one on July 14th, but that's a budget workshop with the council and I. And then, of course, you have a council meeting on July 21st is when we would like to take them back a project or an objective for y'all's recommendation. So it's up to y'all when y'all want to meet. You can meet the week of the 22nd or the week of the 29th leading into that first week of July.
Planning and zoning or Board of Adjustment meetings
So
during
we
those
don't know, we're
weeks?
gonna have a Board of Adjustment meeting coming up
It's next Tuesday.
next Tuesday.
I have it on the 23rd at 6:30.
Okay, I don't have that one on my calendar yet.
That's yeah, it's been rescheduled a couple of times. That's the
Yeah.
last one I have.
Yeah, so for right now, it's the 23rd. Board of Adjustments here at 6:30 in this council chambers. You can also meet in other locations. I just like y'all here because y'all are streaming here. And so that's why I like for y'all to meet in here, but you don't have to meet in here. We can meet at the conference room, the fire department training room, the library has a training room. I just got to coordinate with them. But if Mondays are good for y'all, I know for sure we don't have anything on the 22nd or 29th. If y'all are okay with those days.
Work for me.
Mondays are good.
Are you good
Mondays
on
and
that?
Fridays,
Mhm.
so those are good.
Mondays work for me, Fridays work, Fridays are a little hard for me, we have temple.
Yeah, Friday's hard.
Mondays, okay. So we can schedule a meeting, either the 22nd, 29th, 29th, okay? Somebody.
Wanna do
Yeah.
just 22nd, get,
I
go
think
all
the
of our, all the teams
22nd,
ahead?
yeah,
Okay.
Right here?
22nd?
Next, okay. And then we'll bring you back psychographics and then y'all come back with some ideas of what y'all want to do.
At 6:30, and then we can,
And we're also okay with meeting, or I don't know what y'all's work schedule is, but we're also okay meeting earlier, so y'all get out earlier. So you don't have to meet you can meet at 6, you can meet at 5:30, you can meet at 5,
I
Uh,
am generally done by 5,
Okay,
but,
so,
but I think maybe, I don't know, it's up to y'all. Y'all probably have.
I'm retired.
I'm open, I do want
okay,
Mondays,
so how early can you meet? 5,
But
5:30?
let's do 5:30 a little bit.
5:30?
Yeah,
5:30.
just cause like sometimes like we have things that come up.
so we can do 5:30 on Monday.
Would that be good for you, for y'all too? Mhm.
We're here to serve.
You want us to, if you're serious about trying to get other people, do you want me to bring them?
So they can bring and observe like your committee.
And then they have to apply.
Yeah, and they'll have to
Yeah,
apply.
of course.
You do have a new committee member that will be appointed at the July 21st meeting, but she's here to kind of see how things go. This is kind of, we're a bad example right now because we're not prepared with normally you'd put your project on, there'd be like points on an agenda. This is a little bit open right now, kind of figuring out what your direction's going to be. So it can be a little frustrating because it seems like the ship isn't being steered the right way. But once y'all come up with an objective, hopefully the committee will run a little bit more smoothly after that.
Well, and it would be good too if we meet and come up with an idea, and then we could have enough people, if they are voted in on the 21st, to,
Yeah.
Yeah,
start with a
Yeah.
group.
That's a good idea. Give us a baseline, have
Yeah.
the baseline, and then us come with some ideas.
and as new committee members join, they'll join with y'all giving them a direction versus doing this, right?
Right.
Like trying to,
It's kind of fun though.
Yeah,
okay.
go team.
And then if you would like to introduce your.
Yes, can we get the lights on? Lights.
So your council liaison that reports what goes back or supports y'all's initiative is going to be Mayor Pro Tem Beth Mersch.
Very nice to meet
Yay.
you.
You want to tell them about yourself, tell them what you used to do,
All right, this is my second year on the council, so I'm a relatively new council person. I am retired, thank goodness. My profession has been as a clinical laboratory director, so I worked at Santa Rosa for 30 years, or Christus, and then I did interim laboratory director work throughout the United States, traveling to different hospitals and facilities to serve as their clinical laboratory director, so.
Were you ever in Corpus?
No. In Texas, I was only in Fort Worth, but I was in Florida, Maryland, Memphis, Oregon, New Mexico. I think that's about it.
Wow.
So you have a lot of broad knowledge that can be applied here that we can learn from other places. That sounds awesome.
We always steal what we can, learn from other people.
It's not stealing. If you use it decided, like
It's
We
sharing,
borrowed it.
it's sharing our knowledge and our
There you go.
experience so that not everybody has to reinvent the wheel, for sure. But my background is primarily medical. So, nice to be on this committee as your liaison, and I hope that I can support you in whatever way.
Thank you. And then we also have Councilman.
Councilman Orozco.
Come on up to the podium, please.
Just introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself.
If you're gonna be here every time you volunteer, they need to know who you are.
Well, I'm her chauffeur. Hi, just real quick, I'm Councilman Orozco, Yvonne's husband, and thank you so much for volunteering because we know you're taking it away from your private time, so it means a lot to us in council. And our Mayor Pro Tem Merch, who is your liaison, she's your highway to council. She'll champion your needs or your projects that you do. She can be quite influential with us. And so whatever projects she will champion for you. I've been in council for 5 years, and I'm gonna be on for another 2 years. So, but if you guys need anything, one of the things that we told Sarah when we were interviewing her is that, you know, we got close to 400 homes that are being, that come into Leon Valley, and I think Dr. Cardera mentioned earlier. But one of the things that I asked Sarah is that how do we make our businesses more attractive to keep the 400 or 500 homes that are being built to spend in Leon Valley, to get their needs in Leon Valley, and make business a little bit more popular for they want to stay and spend their money and their time here in Leon Valley. But again, thank you so much, and just talk to Mayor Pro Tem. I'm sure she can get things done for you as well. Yeah, thank you.
Come on up.
All right, hi, I'm Monica Escamilla. I've lived in Leon Valley for 8 years. I am it's hard to say this one, 23 years in education. I'm a dyslexia specialist. And I do have young ones, so my schedule, I will make it work. So yeah, that's about it. I'm 4.5 years away from retiring, and so I am a realtor on the side. That's hopefully let's do this after I retire. And Beth is my neighbor, so she talked to me about this, and I think it's really important to just help develop Leon Valley because I really do love this community. I would just love to see it grow in a positive way that helps out everyone that lives here, all our citizens.
It's such a special community. Like, I love it. I mean, you really, if we had a couple more sit-down restaurants, but I mean, we don't leave.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I used to live.
Would be here all the time, right?
Yeah, and I used to live in Dallas for a while before we moved back to San Antonio. You know, I just have ideas. I see like where my husband used to work and so forth. I'm like, wow, that might work. You know, here since we're so close, we're in a really great location. So utilizing the space would be, I think, really beneficial. So that's it.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, and we appreciate you being here. Now, moving on. Do we go ahead and go forward with the, okay.
So you have chair and vice chair, I think, next on your list?
Yes, uh-huh.
And so my only request, because you have a fairly new committee with the exception of Yvonne, is maybe Yvonne continue as chair for a little while, but y'all should appoint a vice chair until y'all can figure out the flow. I'll get all your members on, and then you can decide your officers after that. And then, however you want to handle that, but just maybe for the next couple of meetings to kind of continue that way, since you're familiar with how the meetings should run and all that stuff. But
Just assuming you were gonna do it.
if you want to appoint a vice chair tonight, you can, or you can make a decision to wait until you have your full committee after the 20th. That's completely up to y'all. We have the vice chair just in case, like, you can't
I
make it to a
think
meeting.
we should probably nominate and appoint somebody as the vice chair tonight. Just, who knows?
Okay.
I may win a trip to Paris tomorrow and be gone the next meeting. Who knows, So moving on, our next is discussion and possible action on the Economic and Community Development Advisory Committee Chair and Vice Chair. And leaving that up to the committee, I am open to staying on as chair for the meantime. And once we get our full committee, then we can go ahead and renominate if that's what the committee chooses at that point. So
I
I'm
was almost a
open.
minute late, so let's not put me there. So I have a better track record next time.
It's the first meeting, so you're
Yeah, oh my
excused for that.
I was like in the shower, and I was like, oh my God.
So we can either take the city manager's remarks and I'll stay, or we can take a nomination for,
I would say I nominate you that you stay. I think that would be good to have somebody that has an idea of what's going on personally, like.
I second that.
Yeah. And then I would suggest, like, maybe one of y'all, if y'all have a little more experience, I think I'm the newest Leon Valley person here. I think, so I'm glad to be vice chair too. It's whatever y'all want, like.
so I am, whatever anybody stays.
You'll do it? All right. I vote for you. There we go. There we go.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Is there,
Cool.
so do we have a nomination for,
I nominate Tiffany.
okay,
And I second.
thank you, Teresa.
Tiffany Yvonne leading us.
Woo-hoo. All righty, so I will remain as chair, and then Tiffany Barfield will be me and you, kid, moving forward. And so any committee members or staff have any comments
I have a
before
comment. I
we?
think it's wonderful
Yes,
to have
ma'am.
all these women interested in economic development. Like, this shows a lot of initiatives that went in the last 20 years, 30 years doing really well, I think. Shows how long run these decisions make a big impact.
I agree. Ms. March?
I just need to say that if you do have a meeting throughout the end of June, I'm going to be out of town on vacation, so I'm sorry.
We might be able to get another council person to sit in for
I
you.
think I have a sub-liaison here.
Thank you. And anybody else on the committee that has any remarks? No? Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. And I like the idea for us to reach out to people that we know that might want to be on the committee, so we can get a full committee and get it appointed by the city council, and we can hit the ground running.
I'm excited.
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am.
So how many people is a full committee? How many people more do we need?
7 members and 2 alternates,
Okay.
so a total of 9.
Okay.
So we have a long way to work.
Yeah, we need 4 more. Mhm. Yeah. All righty. So
Now we have 5.
we have 5, yes, with Miss Monica.
And I think
Mhm.
I know somebody who works with me at USA who has a master's in economics and did too. And he lives in Leon Valley. His name is Caleb McConnell.
Our next meeting is the 23rd.
The 22nd. From today at 5:30. So without any further items, we adjourn at 7:39, and we'll see you here next Monday.
And then I normally will not be here if I am in the back.
Like they'd probably be a good one. And the lady who's in charge of the library, she's doing a PhD right now. Oh, I haven't been to the meeting. It's a lovely floor. She just moved. Yeah. No, I get it. That's excellent. It's not too bad. You're under, Rachel, a little overcrowded. Corpus, yeah, it's nice. Oh, really? Where at?
But your daughter reminds me of my daughter. I grew up on Kennedy.
I'm, my parents lived on Glenmore my whole life, so you know, like, you know where Glenmore is? Yeah. Yeah, so they live like on Glenmore and Kentner, and I'm born and raised in that house. Not here. Oh, me too. Her daughter. What was his name?
She got a college offer, but she was like,
Was he an actor? Very professional.
no, he was
Still
not.
very
Son.
Oh, that's horrible. It's just
Great job, Sarah.
Thank you for mentioning it. No, no, no. My mom doesn't like that type of stuff. But my parents are doctors and lawyers. My mom's a endocrinologist. Yeah, we look exactly alike. So my mom's Dr. Jacqueline Food, my father is Dr. William Buck, but he's retired now. And she's still